The ocean has many voices. Some whisper, some roar, and some simply vanish into the mist. On a calm December morning in 1872, a merchant ship was found adrift upon the Atlantic. Her sails still set, her cargo untouched, and her crew gone. No signs of struggle, no trace of life, only silence and the endless breathing of the sea. What happened aboard the Mary Celeste? Tonight, we drift between dream and darkness, through logbooks and legends, to uncover one of the ocean's most haunting mysteries. This is Strange but Slumber, Vanished at Sea, the Mary Celeste ghost ship. Among these, one dream stands apart. A ship adrift in the wide Atlantic. Her sails torn yet filled by a wind no one could feel. Her decks wet but clean. Her logbook still open, mid-sentence, as if someone had been interrupted by eternity itself. They called her the Mary Celeste, and she was found alone. Before her, there were other ships. Some burned, some broke, some sank. But the Mary Celeste did none of these things. She simply continued, drifting like a thought the world forgot to finish. It was December of 1872 when the ship Dei Gratia spotted her, 400 miles east of the Azores. The ocean was quiet that morning, the air thick with an uncanny calm. Captain David Morehouse, a friend of the Mary Celeste's own captain, saw her silhouette through the fog, sails half furled, moving strangely as though guided by a ghost. He called out, no answer. He ordered a boarding party. Men who hesitated, even as the sea around them lay still as glass. What they found would become legend. She was seaworthy. Her cargo, 1,700 barrels of industrial alcohol, untouched. The crew's possessions, still there. The captain's log, written up to 10 days before. But no one remained. The lifeboat was gone. Food stores were sufficient. There were no signs of struggle, no marks of violence, no storm damage that could explain it. Only absence, a kind of hollow presence, as though the ship herself had been waiting for someone to notice she was alone. They towed her to Gibraltar, her bow cutting softly through the Atlantic swell, and the world whispered, the ghost ship has returned. Before she drifted, before she became a ghost, the Mary Celeste was very much alive. She had been built in Nova Scotia in 1861. Sturdy, fast, a brigantine designed for trade and endurance. Originally christened Amazon, she changed hands, names, and fortunes more than once, as if destiny couldn't quite decide what to do with her. She suffered strange luck even then. Collisions, repairs, accidents, a ship touched by both skill and sorrow. But by 1872, she belonged to Captain Benjamin Spooner Briggs, a man of discipline and faith. He was 37 years old, a seasoned mariner with over a decade of voyages behind him. He sailed with his wife, Sarah, and their 2-year-old daughter, Sophia. Their son, Arthur, stayed behind in Massachusetts to continue school. For Briggs, this voyage was not an adventure. It was routine, a delivery of denatured alcohol from New York to Genoa, an honest crossing of the Atlantic, nothing more. But in the nights before departure, letters tell of a quiet unease. Captain Briggs wrote to his mother,
"Our vessel is in beautiful trim, and I trust in Providence, though I must own that I do not love this voyage."
He didn't say why. Perhaps it was intuition. Perhaps it was the sea whispering a warning only sailors hear. On November 7th, 1872, the Mary Celeste left New York Harbor. A crisp wind guided her eastward, carrying 7 crew members, the captain, his wife, and their child. 10 souls in all. The sea was kind that morning, deep blue, glassy in the light. The crew worked in rhythm, ropes tightening, sails unfurling, the ship leaning gently into her path. From the shore, the Mary Celeste was a vision of confidence, of purpose. But from within, the air was heavy with something unseen. Perhaps it was the stillness between waves. Perhaps the sound or silence of something vast beneath them. They were ordinary men, though history would make them myth. First mate Albert Richardson, reliable, competent, deeply loyal to Briggs. Second mate Andrew Gilling, young, British, eager for experience. Stewart Edward Head, practical, quiet, kind. 4 seamen, Lawrenson, Boz, Martins, and Volkert, each chosen for skill and endurance. None of them, as far as records show, had cause for mutiny or despair. They were well fed, well paid, and on a stable route. Yet their names would soon drift through history like echoes. No one would ever see them again. The Mary Celeste moved gracefully across the Atlantic. Weather reports later reconstructed her path. Days of fair skies, mild winds, nothing that hinted at catastrophe. On November 24th, Captain Briggs recorded in his log,
At dawn saw the island of St. Mary's, Azores, bearing east by north. Everything well.
It was his last entry. By then, they had sailed over 2,000 miles, with less than a week left to reach Genoa. Then silence. Between that calm morning and her discovery 10 days later, something happened that erased them all. No one knows what it was. No storm was reported. No distress signal was seen. No wreckage, no bodies, no trace. Just an empty ship sailing on. There's something uniquely haunting about a vessel found adrift. Ships are extensions of their crews, living things that breathe through rope, canvas, and salt. When that life is gone, the emptiness feels wrong. You can almost hear it. Some who've boarded abandoned ships speak of it, a sense of presence in absence, as if the walls themselves remember, as if the ship is waiting to tell you what she saw. The men from the Dei Gratia who stepped aboard the Mary Celeste would later describe that exact feeling. One of them, Oliver DeVoe, said,
The whole ship looked strange, like she had been left hurriedly. Yet nothing was wrong.
Cups still sat on tables. The galley smelled faintly of coffee. A sewing machine in the cabin still held thread. The captain's wife's handiwork, perhaps. But every person was gone. Even the ship's chronometer and sextant, tools vital to navigation, were missing, likely taken in a lifeboat. But why? Why would a seasoned captain abandon a seaworthy ship in the middle of a calm ocean? No note, no distress call, no struggle, just the eternal sound of waves. Some historians describe the Mary Celeste as a case of maritime confusion. Others call her cursed, but standing between those views is something less tangible, something psychological, almost mythic. The ocean is a place where the rational dissolves, distances stretch, time softens, and even the most disciplined mind begins to hear whispers in the wind. What if the Mary Celeste wasn't attacked or wrecked, but lured? Not by storm or man, but by invitation. Perhaps a strange sound below deck, a chemical odor, alcohol fumes from the cargo, causing panic, or something else, something unspoken, unmeasured, but deeply felt, a dream made real. The sea doesn't need monsters to make mysteries. It creates them through silence, through distance, through the simple act of swallowing time whole. When we look back on the Mary Celeste, we aren't just asking what happened. We're listening for what the sea refuses to say. Maybe that's why this story endures, because somewhere deep beneath those calm Atlantic waves, there's a memory that hasn't yet surfaced. A fragment of that final morning, a shout, a splash, a cry cut short, and until it returns, the Mary Celeste will continue to drift. They brought her to Gibraltar, the ghost ship that carried no ghosts, only questions. The salvage crew, men hardened by storms and superstition alike, whispered of the unease that clung to the vessel. At night, they swore they heard footsteps pacing the deck, soft as a child's breath, a door creaking open by itself, the faint murmur of a woman's voice carried through the empty cabin, as though the Mary Celeste remembered her lost passengers and refused to let them fade. The court inquiry called it an inexplicable mystery. Theories multiplied like waves. Pirates, mutiny, poisonous fumes from the alcohol, even seaquakes and unseen whirlpools. But none could explain why the lifeboat was neatly lowered, why there was no sign of chaos or struggle. Only the still, heartbreaking quiet of absence. Years passed. The ship sailed again under new captains, but none met a peaceful end. One ran her aground on purpose. Another vanished altogether. The Mary Celeste seemed cursed to wander the edges of reason, a relic of the sea's dark poetry, and now she rests in the deep, her timbers dissolved, her story scattered among the currents. But sometimes, in the hush before dawn, when the water lies flat as glass, sailors swear they glimpse her silhouette, drifting just beyond reach, a ghost bound not by time, but by memory. The Mary Celeste did not vanish. She merely crossed a threshold we cannot see. The ocean never truly gives up its secrets. It only changes the way it tells them. Beneath the surface, time moves differently. Wood becomes silt, names fade into the current, but the stories ripple outward forever. A whisper that finds its way to dreamers, to sailors who still watch the horizon with quiet fear and quiet longing. The Mary Celeste was more than a mystery. She was a reflection of how fragile we are before the vastness of the unknown. A single wooden vessel adrift in an endless sea, carrying every human hope, every fragile heartbeat, into a silence too deep to fathom. Perhaps the crew found another shore, one untouched by storm or sorrow. Or perhaps they became part of the sea itself, woven into its eternal song. Tonight the waves still murmur her name. The wind still bends to her memory. And somewhere beyond sight, the Mary Celeste drifts on, between truth and legend, between this world and the next. Lost, but never forgotten. The sea holds more than we can ever know. Some stories sink quietly beneath the waves. Others return again and again, carried by the tide, whispered through the years. Perhaps the Mary Celeste was never truly lost, only waiting to be found in the space between dreams. This is strange but slumber. Until next time, drift well.